Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be making a card using this Bo Bunny Holly Jolly stamp set. Here's the SKU. I'm not sure if this is the same SKU or not. You may be able to find it, but I do know that they've um, brought these back out, and I think it starts with twos now. But you can check and see. I stamped out 2 images and cut them out, and now we're just finishing up coloring. And I used some jelly pens, glitter pens. That's what we're doing now. We're just going to use some glitter pens and color this packaging. And I just decided to go over the whole entire package, even though it was already in black ink. I figured that it'll be all right. If not, then it'll be all right. And then I'm just going to I have a little green highlighter. Hopefully this doesn't leak out, but just because you see this tree is green, the packaging is green. I mean, trees package. The packages have trees on it, tree wrapping paper. All right, there we go. Words seem to escape me sometimes. But I caught that one, and I just want to do that really quickly. So let's get some paper out. Okay, so I have kind of made this card specific to this Santa stamp out. I mean, stamped and cut out. So here we have this, and then we're going to layer it on this really pretty paper. This is my Mind's Eye. No, Paper Studio All Seasons. Okay, so it's going to layer onto this, and then the card base will be this. So it's going to look like that. And I need to put a little sheet of white on the inside so that the person can write a sentiment. But I'll do that last. They can write their own little whatever they want to tell them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp on here, because I feel like we could put this ho 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 right there, of course. But I'll tell you, the last time I stamped out some word sentiments, it didn't work out, and I want to put joy right there as well. So let's go ahead and get our little acrylic block and pull out the sentiments. All right, so I stamped it out, joy in black, of course, right? My little go-to ink. And I think, with the exception of that one little spot, it looks a-okay. I am going to take my red something and color in the red and green leaves on here. And that is cute, just like that. Now what I want to do, hopefully, is I can stamp out some packages. But first, let me go ahead and put ho 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 down. Okay, I decided to go with joy on both of them, but what I want to do is I want to try my hand at some masking really quickly. I want to just put a few more presents behind Santa. I don't know why I keep saying Santa, but put a few presents behind Santa. I probably could have just stamped them out and fussy cut out a few and just layered it up, but I have been attempting to do a little bit more masking. So hopefully it works out, and this bow is at the top. So I'm going to put one right here over that. And I probably need more than one mask now that I think of it, only because I may have to do multiple. So let me go ahead and do that really quickly. And all I did was I just stamped it out and cut it. I mean, it's just a rectangle shape, really. So I'm not too, I'm not too concerned that I'm gonna mess it up. I can cut out a box pretty decently. All right, so I have 2 out, 2 little masks now. And now I'm just going to attempt to not stamp on Santa. Okay. And I probably need more than 2. I think I'm just going to leave it at 2 masks though. And then what I'll do is I think that's plenty actually. Probably a little bit too much, but we're going to see. And all I'm doing is taking the tape, double-sided tape, which is not a good idea to do. You probably want, if you don't want to buy the masking paper, you can use, you know, Post-it notes. Good grief, Brandy. But I didn't think to bring any Post-it notes in here because, you know, sometimes I don't think properly. But anywho, all right. And then I did stamp Santa's foot, if you can see and tell, but I'm okay with that because it's black. So it's not a big deal, except for that. That's crazy. But if Santa's going to be standing there, then no worries, right? So now what I'm going to do is attempt to peel this off without ruining anything and see what we have. All right, so that's how it looks. I think it looks cute. So now to replicate the same thing on this card, right? And what I think I'm gonna do is, ugh, it's so sticky. That double-sided tape definitely is great. But I should have used washi in that instance. And I think just by looking at the other one, the previous one, yeah, I probably can get away with stamping a present on this side too, like right here off the page, and not have to worry about anything. I'm just gonna have to be focused on my placement of Santa. But I think I'm going to do this one a little bit more cohesively, I suppose. So that's the first one. And then re-ink. And then what I'm going to do is, and if you ask my big roommate, he'll say this is how I stack stuff crookedly. All right. And then one more present like right there. All right. So the illusion is that these presents are all stacked on each other behind and in front. So let's put this to the side. Peel this one off. And this is how it looks. Okay, so this is how it's looking so far, so good. I am recycling this paper just in case you're wondering about those spots. You know, I feel like the 110 cardstock, the one I use, it's not cheap, so I don't want to waste it. I need to really get me a scrap coloring sheet. All right, so I've colored up the joy. And I tried to erase. It was a little spot right here that I tried to erase off because it was not the opposite side. So now what I'm doing is I'm just taking the markers and coloring them. And of course, because I am a oddball, I don't want the packages to touch, but only pulled out 3 markers, orange, blue, and green, because I haven't really used those in any of my projects recently. I hope that you are enjoying the Christmas randomness that I am posting, or just cards in general. I know some people get tired of seeing the same old stuff, so hopefully, you know, you aren't tired of seeing me create cards. But I enjoy making cards. I enjoy cutting paper, I guess you could say, more so than anything. So, even though the measurements are all never, ever the same, I guess because the stamps, you know, if you want to do a traditional card, these cards, you could not do a traditional A2 size card with this because it will not fit properly on there if you want to add other stuff to it. So you see like Santa's hat is hanging off, and of course you could cut it off if you wanted to, but I just chose to make a thin card, I guess you could say. Nothing too weird. I don't think it's too weird. Let's put this green right here. I know I said this in another video, but I cannot get over how fast this year went by. Like, cannot believe that. I cannot believe it at all. It was just like I blinked and it was December. Where did I do? You know, where'd the time go? Whenever people think about it, it's so interesting that, you know, people was like, I don't know what happened to the time. It just flew by. Like my son, we had sandwiches for lunch a few days ago, and normally he takes the sandwich apart. Like he'll take each layer of the sandwich apart, like the meat, the cheese, the bread. But this time he ate the sandwich like a big boy, and I was just like, oh, he's getting so big. And everyone else is like, he's growing up. And I'm just like, he's a nutso. He's doing this, he's doing that. And he is getting so big, and he's beyond independent, as well as super stubborn, like his mom, I guess you could say, in some regards. But I definitely blame a lot of his stubbornness. I know this is gonna sound bad. I think all mommies do this on his dad. But like, he knows what he wants, and he knows how he's gonna get it. Until, you know, the parents stop him. Then it's just like, you stopped me. That's not fair. All right, so let's go ahead and assemble this fun card. Just using some regular double-sided tape. You've seen me do this before, lay down these strips. So I'm gonna lay all the strips down and come back. All right, let's layer these pieces, and we'll call this done. It definitely takes a while to make cards, definitely. I think it's easier to go to the store and buy cards sometimes versus mailing them. I mean, making them your own self. Because, you know, not everybody gets a handmade card. Oh, it's crooked. Can you see that? It's crooked. Let me fix that. All right, so I fixed it. What I did, I tore some paper right here. So I just brought the first layer down more and put it in the corner, so it's not too mangled. I did go on to Pinterest and I typed in Bo Bunny, Holly Jolly, and a few things came up. Something similar to what I'm making came up, but they use ho 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 and something else, but I added, you know, I changed it to the joy, and I put the presents down. Pinterest is a good place for inspiration, and if I can actually find the actual, I will the actual picture again, I will actually link that Pinterest link so you can go and see how I've changed it up. But I do want to give credit to people that inspire me as much as possible. You know, I had saw something on a Facebook group I was in. It was like decoupage and napkins, right? And I was like, I really want to learn how to do that. And I was going through some stuff that I had made And I was like, Brandy, you already know how to do that. What is your problem, girl? So I'm going to put some enamel dots as well. I think I'm going to do one right there. I think sometimes when I see things, I'm just so excited about how beautiful those things are, and I'm like, I really want to learn how to do that. And then when I step back and think about it, I'm like, you already know how to do that, knucklehead. What are you doing? What's wrong with you? So I have to keep that in mind. Like, I get so excited over other people's projects sometimes that I'm like, I feel like inadequate, but in all, I could do that already. Some of the things, some things I don't even want to try. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't. I just don't want to, I don't know, get hung up in feeling like I failed at something, even if I didn't. So I'm going to put this one, let's move this one to the top since the other one was at the bottom. Because I measured the length pretty close to the actual thing that was supposed to, the actual measurements, which is like 6 1/4 by 4. I think, let's see. So this is 3 1/4 by 6, the actual green piece, the card base, I should say, the green piece. Yes, we need green piece. Pay me no mind. Pay me no mind. So over this weekend that just passed, because it's the beginning of the week for me, I did some running around, but not a lot. Like, I feel like, this is going to sound so crazy because I like to go shop and look. I don't have to buy even if I go shopping. I just like to actually like look around, see how it looks like the presents are behind Santa, which is super cool because I've, you know, Wonder and Dreamer 555 did. Popped it up and made it dimensional, which is cool. I'm running out of, I have a tape drawer, adhesive drawer with all my glue and tape in it, and I put it in this little container. What did I do with it? I have these on my wall, and I just have tapes in there. And as you can see, I started off with like 6 rolls of random tape, and I have 4 now, or 3. Let's see. Yep, 4. So I maybe started off with more. It was filled to the top and it was overflowing, and now I have just that. So I'm definitely trying to channel her as well as get to using a lot more of my things. All right, and look at that. It is definitely dimensional. You can see it's popped up. And I think I'm going to do 3 on this one because even though they're the same, they are definitely different. And we're still going to stick with the green. So we're going to go large, medium, small. Scooch this over just a little and down some. Alrighty, so there we have it. That's card number 1, and it looks like this on the inside. I need to cut and put a white sheet really quickly, and this is the second one. Also, I need to make an envelope. Ooh, goodness. All right, so I am going to put this one in here, and then I'll put that one in the inside and come back. Okay, so while I was taping this down, my mom popped in my head, and I just want to talk to you all quickly about parental approval. Have you, for those people that have children that are older, let's just say over the age of 10, do you look for parental approval? Like if you do something, I think it, and you may not think it's that name, but are you looking for your child to say you're doing a good job? And not maybe in that instant, but maybe like, yeah, Mom, that's a great idea, something like that, or yeah, Dad, that's a great idea. The reason why I said that, because I don't even know how this flashed into my head, but I flashed back into when I was a teenager, in high school. Was it high school or middle school? I don't know. Middle school. No, I was in the 8th or ninth grade when we lived in this particular house. And she had said something to me, and I'm just, I could see it clear as day. So I just decided, I'd tell you about it while I'm cutting tape and stuff. There's the vision, and I think that it's so crazy that we do that to, well, ourselves as parents, now that I am a parent, and as we do it to our parents, like, because ultimately I think parents do want to be their kids' friend. I wouldn't say best friend, because you have to, sometimes children are not able to, until they get into adulthood, and then sometimes they still aren't able to decide that the parent is the parent and you're not friends. But I think that we are seeking approval from our parents, as well as they are seeking approval from us, because for most people the teenage years are awkward, very awkward. And when you're in a not so great situation, they can be even more awkward. So if you're able to afford things and participate in functions and things like that, it's not as awkward, I think. But like when I was in high school, we had, how they have your senior year, you're doing a lot of senior stuff, like senior trip. I think they went to Cancun, Mexico, which when you think about it, living in Texas and going to Cancun isn't a big deal. But when you're in high school and you can get to go to Cancun for a few days away from your parents, it's definitely a big deal. I want to trim this down some. Wish me luck. I will wait to do that after I put tape on right. It's so backwards. But anyway, so I didn't get a chance to do that. And I had a job. I used to work at Blockbuster Video. I think I told you all this before. That's when videos were cool. Be Kind, Rewind. So I worked at Blockbuster Video. I had a little bit of money myself, but I had to help out sometimes with the bills and things like that. And it went to DC, and I didn't get a chance to go to DC. Now DC is a big deal, so I didn't get a chance to go there either. And that was for senior trips only. I did get a chance to go to Dallas, Texas twice with my class, because I was in I went to a vocational school. And I took photography. I've told you that before. And I went with my photography class. So, we had to make money, fundraisers. We sold pictures, like develop film, get pictures done. And we sold the pictures, and the kids bought the pictures or picture packs that we used to sell. So that was that. And then, even though I didn't go to a school, I went to, like I said, a business school, a vocational school, was focused on careers and things like that. I did not, we didn't have a sports team. Our home schools, the school that we were supposed to go to, were sports teams, but we got to wear Letterman jackets. And, I paid for most of that myself. So this is how the card came out. I think it came out super cute. The colors are not the same. The packaging is a little bit different. I was able to even I love it. I love it. And I'm okay that I wasted a beautiful sheet of paper. This so pretty. I love that pattern. My big roommate hates it, but I love it. I want to say thank you all for watching. I'll be right back. Hopefully you can see this video the next day, because I need to make some envelopes. Yeah, so I'm going to make some envelopes for this thing. All right, until next time, happy crafting.